All the guns you'll be seeing today are available on solware.co.uk, based in Tamworth. Okay, it's test and review day for the HW100. How this will work today in its test. Down there, 23 metres away, there's two target cards. One's got 5 small targets on. You need to hit the red to get 10 points each on those. I'll get you 50 points on the second target. You need to hit 10 bullseyes to get yourself another 50 points. Then we swap over to our third card, which is called the rings. You'll get 5 points for each of the big rings and 15 for the bonus shot. Now, this gun has been tested for pellets and it came out with the Air Arms Diablo fields, which is what I'll be using today. Once it's done its test, we hope it gets above 120 points in that. Then we'll put it over the chronograph and see what kind of figures it's pumping out. And then I'll give you my honest review on the gun and what I think about it. Shall we get underway? Shall we see how it does in its test? Okay, we're all set and ready to go. Our first target card, here we go. Probably up if I cock it. That's good. Just. That was my own self there, that was a bit of a shaky shot. Perfect. We're out of pellets. Not to worry, we have another magazine standing by. Shot 5. Perfect. Now, can you get 5 in the bullseye on our big card? Well, that's a good start. Yeah. Last one for 100%. Yeah, he's in there, 100% for the HW100. We'll get the third card set up and hopefully you can do us a 135. Card 3 is set up, he's in the red rings, so let's see how we can do. Miss. Just. Just. Needs the big bonus. And has missed that. So he scores a 115. 115, not great. I've got a feeling that's down to the scope, to be fair with you, and a lot of wobbly shooting by myself. I'm going to be quite honest with you. The scope on this is rather big because I've been taking this out on permission. To be quite honest with you, you can't zoom in on, it's that large, it's a 6x16 B50, oh, sorry, 6x24 B50, and I've got it zoomed right out just to get it into focus, so I can't get in really close onto the target at 23 metres. I've been shooting probably at 40 to 50 metres where it's been quite handy, but over this short distance it doesn't give you a fair chance. So bear in mind that the target on this, when you look down the scope, is not very big. Because obviously, like, I've got to have the zoom right out on it, and the fact that I'm a bit of a wobbly shooter at the best of times, 115 still isn't too bad. It's broke the 110, which we say is good enough, but don't class that as how good this gun is. I'm telling you now, this is a 135 gun with the proper scope on, no problem at all. It's just that I say I've been using this for a little bit of a further distance, and that's a different scope to what I would normally use on these guns for test. Right then, our next setup, shall we get set up for each chronograph test? Okay, let's put a couple of shots across our chronograph. Let's see how it goes. Shot 1, 238. Shot 2, 238. Shot 3, 240. We may be out of pellets, I think. Right, let me just replace a few in that. Just bear with me a moment. I think we've got 3 so far, 240 and 238, which our centre at the minute would be about 239 feet per second, I think. Well, that's metres per second on our graph there, so. Right. Shot 4, 240, and the last one, 239. So we will be taking the score of 239 into our calculator, and let's see how that gets us. Well, I've just put the HW100's readings there through our calculator. The pellet we used was an 8.4 grain air arm Diablos, as you know. The velocity in them, when broke down to feet per second, was 784 feet per second, which is not bad at all. That brought it out with a power output of 11.47 and an energy expressed in joules as 15.55, so it's done really well, and it's perfectly where you would want it to be, about 11.5. So yeah, it's passed its test on that one quite comfortably. Okay then, well, it's done its test. We know what power it throws out. What do we actually think of the gun? And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I love it. I think it's a fantastic gun. I know a lot of people will look at its test scores and think it's not done really well. Trust me on it, if I put the proper scope on this, this will do a 135, no shadow of a doubt. It's just the scope that's on there, as you can see, it's an optics. It's a great big one, and the reason for that is, as I say, I've been shooting over a longer distance, so I've been able to zoom in on the quarry that I'm shooting at. I've been using it for crow busting, and I've probably been shooting at 50 metres, and with a 177 it's been hitting a crow and putting it lights out, no problem at all. So it's doing what it wants it to do for me. Now, whether I take this scope off and fit a normal one, I'm not sure I will, but if I do put a normal scope on, which I usually use our Nico Sterlings, as you know, the 4B16B50s, if I put one of those on, just for just for the state of it all, I will reshoot this again, and let's see how it does with a Nico Sterling on, which is better suited over this distance and will work better with the gun, and I'm sure it'll do a 135, trust me on that. Also, you've got to put into account my shakiness. My nerves are not the best at the minute, and I'll explain why. I've just found out I'm going to lose my home, and at the time that this has gone to shooting, we're in just the back end of October. I've got 2 months to find somewhere to live for my family, so my nerves are a bit shot at the moment, as you can probably understand. I'm still trying to push a bit of content out when I can. You'll find it will be slowing up, and that's the reason why I've got more bigger fish to fry. I mean, I've got to find me a new home. So, back to the gun. The polymer stock, lovely to grip, easy to use. Great. I just think it's perfect. I mean, even in wet weather it's still grippable. The gun itself, it's not overly heavy. You've got around 100 shots in the gun from its tank, which fills up really nicely and pretty easy to use. Quiet as well. The Weihrauch silencers are already known for their quietness, and this is no exception. It's really, really good. The trigger, very, very light but predictable. You know exactly when it's going to let go and you're ready for it. It's a nice trigger. Safety catch, back end of the gun here, away from anywhere near the trigger, which I know a lot of people do like. Cocking arm on the right hand side makes it better for if you are obviously if you're taking hold of a sight, you can obviously hold it there like that and even reach over and cock again if you want to. On the left hand side, maybe a bit better if you're a right-handed shooter, but I find a left-hand cock a little bit awkward sometimes, I've got to be honest with you, so I think that's the perfect place for it to be. The ergonomic grip on the handle, lovely to grip, gives you plenty of support and grip when you're shooting the gun, and it's just great. The only thing that's loosening it down at the minute is the nut behind the butt, which is myself, and this scope's probably a bit too big for our range, but I'm not sure if I'll change it or not. The reason being, this will be up against guns that are probably a couple of £100 cheaper than this at least, so to give them a fair chance I might leave that scope on. It'll still do well, trust me. It's not done bad today. I mean, besides a little bit of shakiness by myself, I still think it was possible for a 135. So please take into account how nervous I am at the minute. But yeah, it's a lovely gun. I mean, you're talking, I think these are around £1,100 at the moment, so like this is probably one of the dearest guns we've ever had in on the channel at the moment. And I've put a dearer scope than I would normally put on it too. The reason being, as I say, I'm using it over a longer distance. It's got the power there, it's 11.4 that we tested earlier, so it's fine to do a longer distance shoot. And I've been taking crows out top of trees at around 40 to 50 metres away without a problem. And by the way, I will tell you, when you hit a crow that's probably 25 to 30 metres up in a tree, it goes with a right thud when it hits the floor. You wouldn't think it, but it does. But yeah, for all those people out there who rate Weihrauch, I mean, we've had the HW110 in lovely gun that's sold to a gentleman down in Lincolnshire named Rodney. He's bought it for his wife to use, and they'll have plenty of fun with it. This is the 100. It's supposed to be a step above the 110, and yeah, you can feel the difference. There's a lot of difference there altogether. This is in 177. We had our 110 in .22. But yeah, I can't see what's not to like. They're lovely guns, the Weihrauchs. I mean, they're always been a good name in the gun world, Weihrauch, and you can really see why. This is without doubt a lot of thought, and you can tell it's not just been knocked together on a Friday afternoon. You know, there's been some thought put into it. It really is a nice gun. I'm looking forward now to doing a little bit more permission work with it when I get the chance to see exactly what it can do. When I'll get a chance to do that now, I'm not quite sure because of the way things are at home. Obviously making sure there's a roof over my family's head is more something that I should be doing than fanning about in a field shooting birds. But I'll try and get out still as much as I can and do as much as I can when I can, and also it's the same for the content. I'll do as much as I can when I can to keep you all with something to watch. There's nothing more I can really add about the Weihrauch. It's just that you're getting a quality gun and you can feel it when you use it. It feels different to other guns that seem, shall I say, to have a little bit of a shaky appearance sometimes. I wouldn't say that's every gun I've used. I'd say some guns just seem to feel that they're not very well put together. This, however, it's really well put together and it feels solid. That Weihrauch silencer, as I say, adds to it its quality of being quiet as well. You do get a chance of a second shot with this sometimes, even if you miss, because it's that quiet. I've got to admit, the HW110, I'm not sure what the silencer was on that, but that was even quieter still. But yeah, my recommendation is if you can get hold of one of these at the right price, and obviously, as you know, this will go up for sale once I've finished with it, I would buy one of these every day of the week. They're a fantastic gun. I'm actually hoping, to be quite honest with you, that it stays as channel champion. I can keep hold of it, but it's got some very tough opposition. At the time that this went to film, our Kral Jumbo High Cap is our champion, and going to take some beating. It really is an accurate gun, that high cap. So it's got a lot on its plate to beat the high cap. Last time out, I think it missed 2 shots out of 5 cards, and only just slightly on those, you know, so that high cap's class gun. And to stay with me, this has got to beat it. To do that, I think it's going to need a change of scope, to be fair, but we'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there. The HW100 by Weihrauch. Class operator, I've got to be quite honest, really classy operator. If you get a chance to try one at a range somewhere, or maybe at a gun shop, try one. You'll see what I mean about the class of the gun. They're just something else. Everything is put together really well in it, as I say. This is more rubberized than it is plastic, and you can, you know, when you scratch plastic, you can hear like a noise. You can feel that's rubberized, and it's a really nice polymer. Great gun. In with it, you get your 2 magazines, your filler probe, everything you possibly need. There's 14 shots in the magazine as well in the 177. I think it'll probably be 10 or 12 in the 2.2. But yeah, trust me on this, each one you've got to try. It really is a nice gun. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.